James, where is it going in these early stages? Because two of the highest profile private fintech companies that we talk about, Klarna and Stripe, have either had down rounds or marked down their valuations internally.
Yeah, sure. The money's still flowing largely into consumer payments area and different parts of the ecosystem, but specifically the part that enables companies to accept payment types and integrate that with operational software. To your point, you're not seeing quite as much, especially with rising interest rates and a tightening economy generally. You're not seeing as much go into things like consumer credit-oriented fintech. We also are seeing falls in the area of B2B or business-to-business payments, but that core consumer payment piece of the ecosystem is still attracting massive amounts of capital.
Right. The big elephant in the room, though, James, is Apple. I'm not sure if you saw it, but this morning there was a journal article with some pretty amazing stats. 75% of U.S. phones have Apple Pay activated. That's up from 50% in 2020, 10% in 2016. Anecdotally, I mean, I see it all the time. Yes, I'm in San Francisco, but people are only carrying around their phones. Does this sort of lessen the proposition, considering how much cash Apple has, their ambitions in the space, the case for new players, and maybe the case for more consolidation, a lot more than we've seen?
Well, I think you raise an interesting point, is that for Apple and Apple Pay, it doesn't really change the dynamics of the traditional payment system. You're still associating a credit or a debit card with that Apple Pay token, if you will, within the phone. And so that doesn't really change the dynamics. Maybe a little bit the acceptance, you're tapping instead of swiping or dipping or pulling out your card as you suggested. But what it does indicate, to your point, is that there's beyond just this massive amount of venture capital, that there is a lot of capital still from companies like Apple and others that would like to be in the payment space. And so what it does, in our opinion, for incumbents, is it does put pressure on them to do things like be more aggressive with acquisitions, with their own R&D, et cetera. As an example, I know that there's been a lot of enthusiasm around Elliott's involvement with PayPal, and maybe they would push PayPal to return more capital or improve margins faster. But I think the dynamics of Apple plus VC, et cetera, mean that PayPal really is in a position that it has to continue to invest. And I think that's probably a key example of the impact of all this money flowing around.
Right, and PayPal has had a pretty brutal year, as you can see on this chart, down nearly 50% year to date. It's interesting, James, you say that the dynamics haven't changed with consumer-oriented payment methods like Apple Pay. You're still using a debit card or a credit card, but what is, and maybe this is too long-term, but I do wonder this, what's preventing them from bypassing the rails, for example, in the longer run in the way that Chinese fintechs were able to and Ant Financial was able to? Is that ultimately a threat for the Visas and Mastercards of the world?
I don't think so. The reality is that Visa and Mastercard's ability to execute a transaction, whether it's going via Apple Pay or some other mechanism, you can't really do it cheaper than what they do it. And you can't do it faster. You can't do it more securely. You can't do it with broader acceptance. There's literally no facet on which you can improve the performance. Now, when you look at other countries around the world, a lot of what you see, and you raised the example of China, is that there's a political preference, driven preference, to have a different scheme emerge and win in those markets. And if there's political interference, that's a different issue. But if you're talking about strictly traditional technology disruption and cost, et cetera, driving disruption, we really don't see any clear path that Visa and Mastercard could be disrupted by things that Apple Pay and others are doing.